A preliminary matter, this is John Regan, Chair of the Auburn Planning Board. Permit me to confirm that all members are present. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Ronald Brooks.
Aye.
Rakesh Nowlan.
Present.
Sierra Samara.
Aye.
Jason Esarifi.
Aye.
Town officials and employees participating, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Town Planner Adam Menard.
Here.
Staff Assistant Danielle Chamberlain-Roberts. Good evening. This open meeting of the Town of Auburn Planning Board of Tuesday, July 11th, 2023, now called to order at 7 p.m. This meeting is being conducted as a hybrid format under Chapter 22 of the Acts of 2022. This meeting, the Planning Board is convening in person and by remote access. Remote access information has been posted on the town's website identifying how the public may join. Please note that this meeting is being recorded by Auburn Cablevision. Is there anyone in the audience tonight that is recording tonight's meeting? Being none, accordingly, those members of the Planning Board, employees, and members of the public who participate remotely, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you, and please take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. Please rise and join us in a salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All supporting materials that have been provided to the members of this body are available on the town's website. I'd like to remind the audience, applicants, town administration, and each of the planning board members to please refrain from asking questions in regards to all matters discussed this evening without first being granted my consent. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by a roll call vote. First on the agenda tonight is A&R Auburn Water District, 6 Southbridge Street. Is anyone here representing the Water District?
Good evening, Greg Woods with the Auburn Water District. Correct. Correct.
Can you go all the way up to Sword? No?
It's going to be a pump station?
Correct.
Oh, actually, a pressure-reducing valve wall.
Correct. The district has been working with the Department of Transportation for close to 3 years now to purchase this small parcel of land to facilitate our long-term plan of doing an interconnection with the city of Worcester. And we would need a pressure-reducing building to reduce the pressure from Worcester to our system. So we have finally got that parcel of land, that approximately 1,200 square feet, and we will be constructing a prefabricated 11 by 22 concrete building to facilitate the instrumentation for that.
And then the vault obviously goes underground.
No, it'll all be above ground. The building will be above ground. Obviously, the main will be underground.
What is the pressure in Worcester as compared to Auburn? Just out of curiosity.
I think it's about 15 pounds higher than ours.
Really?
Correct.
Who owns the little triangle to the, is that triangle to the south of it, is that then Sword Street?
I believe the triangle to the south, right before it comes into the entrance to the distribution center, is still going to be retained by the DOT. So to the north is 4 Southbridge Street, an existing parcel. So this small piece would be 6.
Anybody else have any questions? Dorcas?
No questions.
Jason?
No questions.
Anyone in the audience have any questions? Being none, I just have one. Does this work where if our pressure drops below a certain point, the valve opens up to keep us full of water for fire protection? I know the town of Dedham did that with the MWRA. I was just curious.
We have 2 pressure-reducing valve locations in our system. One side of the town has high pressure, one side has low. The side towards Prospect Street and the West Street side of town, that's the high pressure. So there's a pressure reducing valve near Eddy Pond Apartments there on Route 20, and there's also one at our Church Street facility. So if there's low pressure on the low pressure side, water will flow from the high to the low. But in this case, this interconnection will be purely if we need water from a supply perspective, not necessarily a pressure perspective.
So, if the pressure drops below a certain point, is it automatic? You guys have to actually get out and turn the valves on?
It would be fairly automated based on tank elevations, and if it did get, the tanks did drain to a certain point, that valve would open up.
I'm just curious.
One question.
Yes, sir.
So the construction of the facility itself, that's gonna come in after, right? So
Correct.
should there be a site plan for that as that's developed?
That's for the code enforcement officer to decide. Building commission.
Okay,
Makes
Okay.
that call.
sounds good.
Tiny lot, it's a tiny building.
1,500 square.
It's a lot. The building's 11 by 20, so 220 square feet. Very big.
Just enough to get a truck to do the rounds. That's about it.
Did the DOT give you a curb cut for your driveway? Did the DOT give you a curb cut for your driveway?
I don't know.
I wonder. If they have it, it'll be the next hurdle you'll have to cross. So I don't see one shown.
Doesn't show?
No. But I don't know if there's a curb there or a sidewalk. I don't think there's a
It's
sidewalk.
just dirt.
Maybe just dirt so you can just drive in. I don't think there's a curb there myself.
Sidewalk in front of 4, I don't think it extends any further past 6 down to that corner. Yeah.
You won't need a curb cut. Really. Anybody else have any questions? May I have a motion to approve as submitted?
I'll make the motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, smile.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Myself, John Regan, is an aye. It is a vote. You gotta sign it.
Side.
Say the other side, yeah. Too much in a hurry. Wait a second, I gotta finish signing the rest of them though. The rest can be done with regular pen, right? Regular pen? You're right. Right.
copy? I don't want to.
Paper copy would be nice.
It's past year. It's been 2 years. So it's every year this.
So I see it because it's supposed to be chair. Put it up. Yeah, I don't care. You're welcome. Good luck. Next on the agenda is applicant Kimley Horn Associates requesting site plan approval under section 3.2.6.1 of the Auburn zoning bylaw for a self-storage facility at 319 Washington Street, Auburn, Mass. 01501, map 42, parcel 31. This has been continued from our June 27th, 23 meeting. Is there anyone here representing Kimley Horn? Do they want to?
Yes, continuance. They just got a partial review back from Graves last week. We're still waiting on the stormwater update, so they still have a little bit of work to do.
May I have a motion to continue this to our next meeting in August?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Sierra?
Aye.
Rakesh?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Myself, aye. John Reed is an aye. Next on the agenda is applicant Robert Lemansky of GL McKinstry Trust for a definitive subdivision plan for a two-lot, single-family home development with site improvements on property located at Clare Drive and Linda Avenue, Auburn, Mass. 01501. Is there anyone here representing Mr. Lemansky?
The chair, they requested a continuance this afternoon. They just got comments back. They submitted comments to Graves, updated plans on Thursday. So Graves is working on the updated peer review at this time.
May I have a motion to continue this to our August meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I second it.
All those in favor? Sierra? Duarkesh?
Aye.
Jason?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Myself, John Reed, is an aye. It is a vote. We continue to our next meeting. Other business. I am going to skip ahead to the modification on 9 Mark Street if no one has any objections. I believe that gentleman's sitting right here. And we can deal with our stuff afterwards.
Graves just gave me that this afternoon. A review of the plans.
All of these? Okay. That's Clear Drive. Yeah. We are a little bit of a loss because we just got the review, I just got handed to me from Graves, so.
I tell you, I'll try to make it easy because we did a lot of, let me introduce myself, Jim Bernardino with CMG Engineering, representing the owners of 9 St. Mark Street. Mid last year, late last year, we were in front of the board for site plan review for a proposed just over 11,000 square foot addition to their existing facility out there. They're under construction, building's up, things have been going pretty well out there, and we're seeking a minor modification to some drainage designs and infrastructure that we found to be necessary based on some of the existing drainage conditions that were uncovered as part of the excavation and things of that nature. Just to give a recap, back in the end of last year, we looked at the orange as a proposed addition. What we did was, a number of years back, there were some explorations that were conducted on the existing underground drainage infrastructure associated with the existing building. The information that we've uncovered at that time, we believe that all of the rooftop drainage from the blue shaded area, on this side, was collected in an underground drainage system. All the leaders came down spouts, down the back, and discharged off into the rear direction, and connected somehow to the pond in the back. Little curious, so we had some cover our butt notes on the plan about coordination in the field and the like. Subsequent to the construction ongoing and finding out what we did, we were correct. Our assumption was all the rooftop did go off into this area. We had the contractor chase that line. Where did it go? We snaked it, found the end, and unfortunately, it wasn't really connected to where we thought it was. It just ended in a big pile of boulders out in the back. We talked with and it just happened to point right towards where the sewer main was in the back. So we spoke with the engineering department. They went out and cambered the line to determine that there was no illicit discharges. So rooftop's not going into the drainage system. That's a good thing. But the bad thing is, what are we going to do with it now? Some of our assumptions were not correct, or maybe the underlying conditions weren't very well known until we uncovered it all. So what we did was, our original drainage calculations assumed all this water to flow this way, and we were looking at a drainage system, an underground drainage system, that would treat the existing rooftop only. Existing conditions would be remained as it was. Fortunately, this wasn't the case. So this was really brought to our attention in more concern or urgency a few weeks ago. We immediately reached out to the engineering department. We met on site with them. They recommended that we go forward, make sure the Conservation Commission is going to be suitable with our proposed improvements, which I'll go over real quickly in a moment. So we immediately got on one of their agendas to talk about the proposed changes that we're looking to implement. We didn't have a formal design at that point, but wanted to give them a heads up as quick as possible. And so we had that meeting a couple weeks ago. We actually had a site walk last week, this past weekend with the Conservation Commission. We're going to be in front of them as well to review this. We also took the initiative to work with Mr. Bernard and to get Graves Engineering on board sooner than later, because we're in the middle of construction. We don't want to prolong anything with exposed surfaces. We want to get the project done, stabilized, and out the door. So Graves has reviewed and just provided this afternoon a letter regarding our proposed amendment, that our calculations and our proposed modifications are in order engineering-wise. Those modifications are, what we're doing is, as you recall, this whole area we said was going to go into the back and out somehow. So what we did was, just based on construction, we're going to collect the orange portions and put it into the existing underground drainage. It's just a matter of repiping the downspouts. The area that's in orange equals the area that was considered in the future. So what additional area that we did not consider was obviously the half of the roof that we found to be inadequate ultimate connection. That equal area is the blue area here. So what we're proposing is just to have a small above-ground basin. It's a minor depression. It's only about 2.5 feet deep, to collect the rooftop drainage only, detain it, and then just outlet towards the wetlands in the back. So all of this work falls within the existing limit of work and disturbance. So we're not expanding our development footprint anywhere, in any location. We're just looking to implement a minor drainage basin, very small in nature, to detain what we originally thought was just going away, you know, off to the pond. So, with that, you know, we took the initiative, worked with Graves. I think they're in agreement with our findings that, you know, this is sound engineering practice, but wanted to obviously speak, not wanted to, we need to speak with the board to make sure we are in agreement that this is, you know, a minor modification. We can move forward without, you know, subsequent permitting or anything else that may be necessary. You know, so with that, I'll open it up to, you know, the board for any questions or comments you may have.
Anybody have any questions? Sharon? Roger?
One question. So maybe for, actually for you, Jim, what is the timeline? I know this is, construction's ongoing, so what is the timeline you're looking for from an approval standpoint? Because we haven't reviewed the Graves work yet.
From a timeline, we took the initiative to get this done. So the timeline is as soon as we are able to get a comfort level from everybody involved, which will be the planning board as well. Conservation Commission, we are set to meet with them on the 26th of this month. And depending on, well, I don't want to say depending, we just received the Graves Engineering letter, which supports our engineering calculations. I'm going to initiate that with the engineering department as well, because we also need to update our land disturbance application from them, just to make sure that they're on board. So it's kind of it's a trifecta. We need to talk to Concom, Planning Board, and Engineering, and they're all moving forward. So we're doing this as expeditiously as possible because it's an existing construction site. We want to keep it moving, and really, this is really almost the last piece of lipstick that we have to put on it. Paving should be happening this week for the parking area up front. And the last remaining items are just trying to handle that drainage, you know, discrepancy from what the original plans were.
So if, looking at our schedule, so if our next meeting is August 8th, and if we get the Graves review, I mean, if we have the chance to review the Graves, you know, report, oh, he just read it.
Oh, it's 2 paragraphs that says the calculations are.
Expedite it.
So, you know, I would hope that, unless there's any unforeseen comments or concerns that you may have tonight that we can address in our discussions, we would hope to get maybe a decision whether it's or de minimis or a minor change, or we need to go to the next step. If we need to go to the next step, I'll take those initiatives immediately tomorrow to go there. But I think engineering-wise, we're sound. I think Graves agrees with it. We're within the existing limits of work, so there's no new land alterations. We're just really going to be dropping in a very small detention area to handle a small portion of the roof that we originally anticipated being routed around to the existing pond. But we found that being uncovered, it's not in a suitable condition to be reused.
Thank you, Jim. Maybe for John and Adam, so if we accept this modification, would that be under the condition that Conservation Commission is approving it? It has to be, right?
Yeah, that's
Yes,
kind
this is definitely within their buffer zone, so we need to have them agree with the modification as well.
I think the building inspector has to put over it too, right?
correct.
So,
It'll be inspected by all the pertinent parties, so conservation and engineering, everybody. So they're already well aware of and moving forward on it.
we can make it contingent on conservation, engineering, and the building inspector.
No other questions?
Anybody else have any questions? Ron?
No, I would defer my thoughts to John, because he's in that field, and that if he thinks it's a minor change, which I kind of think it is, and if he's okay with that, then I would be. And we contingent upon the other people, and the Conservation Commission and everybody.
I just have a couple questions. One, by making that drainage area there, the depression, yeah, does that impede any of the original parking spots?
No, this was completely within a lawn area. Right now, all our parking's here, so this, from this right here up, was just grass. We originally showed a berm there because we had some soils that weren't suitable, and unfortunately, the site was very tight. They're like, we can't put a stockpile here, we're getting rid of the dirt so we can move our machinery around. So basically, this area right where this is an existing lawn area. No pavement, no parking, no impedances. No landscaping or anything that had to be modified, it was strictly just a lawn.
And the discharge, that goes to a wetlands?
There's a wetland in the back here. The existing discharge is located here with a riprap outfall. We're going to be putting them side by side with the stabilized riprap flared end.
Where's the sewer main in relation to?
The sewer main runs down this corridor here to a manhole about here, cuts over at 45 to here, then runs down. So we do have a small crossing here, but there's no conflict vertically.
Sewer should be probably 8 feet deep, I would imagine, 5 or better.
Excuse me?
The sewer should be probably 5 to 8 feet deep.
Yeah, it's around 7 or something to that effect. So we're well beyond, below the wetland line and the discharge to the pipe, so there's no conflict. We took a look at all that. We have all the as-built information from the sewer line.
Now, you said the bottom of the basin is 2 feet deep from the top of the high point?
Yeah, from the berm is 3.25. That's to the tippy top of the berm, and we have a foot of freeboard. So we're really, only gonna experience about 2.2 feet of water. And we kind of flattened out the slopes. We didn't do the 2-to-1 slopes. I think we have 4-to-1 or 5-to-1. You can really drive your pickup truck down in there, but normal maintenance lawn mowers will be able to navigate those slopes. We made them so it could be maintained easier.
When all is said and done, is the entire lot fenced in?
The entire, no. There'll be a security gate here to prevent anybody from off-hour deliveries and things of that nature, but it will not be completely fenced in all the way around. You could walk around and get in.
My only concern is after rainstorms like this week, if that's 2.2 feet deep. You get some kid down there on a weekend, because he can walk around right to it, and we need to put a fence around that area, like a 4-foot little chain link fence.
This is truly a detention area. So our pipe is to dewater. We're not infiltrating. The soil underneath this isn't really indicative of infiltration practices. So we actually have an outlet pipe. It will flood up, but within several hours it will drain because it's not truly a detention pond, a retention pond, it's a detention pond. So we're really just slowing the water down. We're not accounting for any infiltration. So you'll find it dewatering much quicker than you would a normal infiltration basin.
Anybody else have any questions? I would like to defer that fence to the engineering or building inspector.
Yeah, I'd like to see the fence too.
We'll let them make that decision. It is only 2.5 feet deep, but 2.2 feet. May I have a motion to approve conditions? Huh?
Two motions, motion that's minor, and motion to approve.
A motion that it's a minor change?
I'll make that motion.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor, Sierra? Marquez? Jason? Ron?
Aye.
Myself, John Regan, and aye. May I have a motion to condition this with approval from the Conservation Commission, the Engineering Department, and the Building Commission?
So moved.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor, Sierra? Aye. Marquez?
Aye.
Jason? Ron?
Aye.
Myself, John Regan, is an aye. Now may I have a motion to approve this based on those conditions I just placed?
I'll make that motion.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Myself, John Regan, is an aye. It is a vote.
Thank you very much.
You're all set. Good luck.
Thank you very much for assisting and helping us get that letter from Graves as soon as we could. It's very important to keep the things moving, so we tried to do what we could. Thank you all.
Get to a decision later this week.
Yeah, perfect, thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is reorganization of the planning board. We need someone to nominate someone to be chairman.
I'll nominate John Reagan as chairman.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 May I have a motion to nominate a vice chairman?
I'll nominate Davros as vice chairman.
May I have a second? All those in favor? Sierra? Aye. Well, you can't vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Myself, John Reed, and I as a vote. Just reorganized. Next on the agenda is CMRPC delegates. Are you looking for some?
Call from last few years, CMRPC, if you're not familiar, is the Regional Planning Commission. The town has 3 delegates and 1 alternate to the commission. Planning board responsible for appointing 2 of those delegates. Traditionally, at least one of those delegates has been somebody from the planning board. In the past, the other delegate's been a staff member. I haven't broached any staff about being a delegate. I think Todd Corain was a delegate and Duarkesh is a delegate. So if somebody would like to be a continued Duarkesh or somebody else wants to be a delegate, we have the option of 2 from this board.
When do they meet? When does it meet?
It's quarterly. They have quarterly meetings. They usually meet on a Thursday. They've been meeting in person yet, or are they?
No, they had a summer meeting, but the one for the first quarter was,
Virtual. So I think they'll probably stick with the virtual for now, then they have an annual dinner in June, which is kind of a nice event.
And do we need another person or no?
We'll need 4, we'll need 3 delegates and an alternate, so if you'd like to attend it.
Do it, yeah.
Great.
So we'll need nomination for delegates, second,
If
and
we nominate Duarkesh?
no, I think it'll be good if Jason is here.
You wanna do it? We have a motion to nominate Jason and Sierra to be delegates to the CMRPC.
I'll make that motion.
May I have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Duarkesh?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Myself, John Reed, aye. It is a vote. We have 2 new delegates. Registry of deed signatures we've already done, right?
last year's were. To do this year's. Just sign your name. This is so the registry can sign A&R plans for the registry. Just sign your name, I'll fill out the term and stuff. You have to receive your signatures annually.
Next was decisions on 744 Southwood Street and 113 Washington Street.
Sign those.
May I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes from our May 23rd, 2023 meeting as submitted?
So moved.
May I have a second?
No, second.
All those in favor, Sierra?
Aye.
Aye.
Jason?
Aye.
Myself, John Reed, aye. It is a vote. May I have another motion to approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting of June 27th, 2023, as submitted? Thank you. All those in favor, Ron?
Aye.
Jason?
Aye.
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 Myself, John Reed, aye. It is a vote. There's no new business unforeseen
I'll
by
second.
the chair.
We didn't second the previous one.
I thought we did second.
We got it done, don't
We got it
worry.
done. Thank you.
I thought somebody said I seconded it. No new business unforeseen by the chair. Member town planner update.
No update tonight.
May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
May I have a
Second.
second? All those in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
Sarah?
Aye.
Marquez?
Aye.
Jason?
Aye.
Myself, John Reed, aye. The meeting is now adjourned.